Chapter 16. So this is still my first kiss. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You must be very tired after a long day's journey. Go to bed and rest first. He Dan said to Zhu Zhuqing softly. Ah. Zhu Zhuqing nodded gently. He Dan continued to hold Zhu Zhuqing in the princess's arms and walked straight to the bedroom inside. Happy birthday, thank you. Thank you for standing up for me just now. Zhu Zhuqing lay in He Dan's arms, put his head on He Dan's shoulder, and thanked He Dan sincerely. It's a small matter, you're welcome. He Dan said with a smile. Soon, He Dan carried Zhu Zhuqing to the bedroom and carefully placed Zhu Zhuqing on the big bed. You go to sleep for a while, and I'll rest on the sofa outside. I will wake you up later when the waiter brings dinner. He Dan said to Zhu Zhuqing with a smile, then turned around and walked outside. Happy birthday. As soon as He Dan raised his foot and took half a step, Zhu Zhuqing stopped him and grabbed He Dan's hand. What happened? He Dan turned to Zhu Zhuqing and asked. Why don't you just leave quickly? Dai Mubai is the third prince of the Star Luo Empire after all. You beat him into a pig's head and carried me into the Rose Hotel in front of him. 7. He will definitely not let us go. He will definitely find someone to take revenge on us. After all, I am his fiancé, and he will not really attack me. Zhu Zhuqing hesitated to persuade him to congratulate him. Although Zhu Zhuqing was very happy that He Dan could stand up for her, she was even more happy that He Dan wanted to change her engagement with Dai Mubai. She also hoped that He Dan could do this, but she knew how powerful the Star Luo Empire was. Let's not talk about whether He Dan can block the people Dai Mubai calls. Even if He Dan blocks it, the Star Luo Empire will definitely not allow He Dan to do this. She knew that He Dan was very powerful and had infinite potential, but he was still too weak after all. She felt that she and He Dan alone would not be able to fight against the Star Luo Empire, and He Dan would be killed by the Star Luo Empire, and she will be forced to continue to participate in the battle for the throne of the Star Luo Empire as Dai Mubai's fiancé, but she didn't want He Dan to be killed for her. You are worried that I will be killed by the people brought by Dai Mubai. Even if you are not killed, you will be killed by the Star Luo Empire because you want to change your engagement with Dai Mubai, right? He Dan sat beside the bed and asked Zhu Zhuqing. Ah. Zhu Zhuqing lowered his head and said softly. Don't worry, no one in the entire continent can kill me. He Dan said with confidence. He, who possesses the immortal body of Pinxixi, is very sure of this, but Zhu Zhuqing didn't know this. She thought He Dan was comforting her. However, she could tell that He Dan meant that he would not leave her alone, and she felt very happy. Do you believe that I have the power to change your engagement with Dai Mubai in the future? He Dan put his index finger against Zhu Zhuqing's chin again, propped up Zhu Zhuqing's head, looked directly into Zhu Zhuqing's eyes, and then asked Zhu Zhuqing. I believe you. But your current strength is still too weak to change my engagement with Dai Mubai. Zhu Zhuqing immediately said with certainty, but still stated the fact. Indeed, right now, I don't have the strength to change your engagement with Dai Mubai. He Dan did not refute Zhu Zhuqing because he knew this was the truth. But in the near future, I will definitely have the strength to change. He Dan said confidently again. I'm only asking you once, do you want me to change your engagement with Dai Mubai? Or do you prefer Dai Mubai to me? He Dan stared into Zhu Zhuqing's eyes and asked Zhu Zhuqing word by word. Of course I hope you can change my engagement with Dai Mubai. Zhu Zhuqing said immediately and affirmatively without any hesitation. But. No buts, as long as you want me to change your engagement with Dai Mubai. Zhu Zhuqing wanted to say something more, but before she could finish speaking, He Dan interrupted her directly. But you have to know that the fact that I have the power to change things in the future is of no use. I also need your approval, support and help. Are you willing to become stronger together with me, and work with me to change your engagement with Dai Mubai in the future? He Dan stared into Zhu Zhuqing's eyes and asked Zhu Zhuqing again word for word. Ah. I am willing. Zhu Zhuqing replied affirmatively. Okay, just your words are enough. I will do what I say. I will never abandon you. I will protect you and you will not be killed by anyone. He Dan looked into Zhu Zhuqing's eyes and said with certainty. Ah. I believe you. Zhu Zhuqing looked into He Dan's eyes and answered affirmatively, then showed a sweet and happy smile. You look much prettier when you smile. You must smile more in the future and stop looking so long, as if others owe you money, do you understand? He Dan also showed a happy smile and said to Zhu Zhuqing with a smile. Ah. The smile on Zhu Zhuqing's face became even brighter. Bamboo Qing. He Dan pressed against Zhu Zhuqing's chin and slowly moved towards Zhu Zhuqing's mouth, thump, thump. Zhu Zhuqing's pretty face and ears suddenly turned a little redder. She looked at He Dan who was slowly approaching, her heartbeat suddenly accelerated, and she felt very nervous. However, she didn't want to resist, and she didn't resist. She slowly closed her eyes, acquiescing to the idea of celebrating her birthday. When He Dan saw this, he didn't hesitate at all. He directly kissed Zhu Zhuqing's lips and kissed her softly, which made Zhu Zhuqing couldn't help but tremble. Kissing each other, He Dan couldn't help but hug Zhu Zhuqing. Zhu Zhuqing couldn't help but hugged him to celebrate his birthday. After kissing for a while, the two slowly separated. Who? Both of them couldn't help but speed up their breathing. Congratulations, although Dai Mubai and I have been engaged for a long time, we have only met a few times in total, let alone any intimate gestures. I have not even held his hand. So this is still my first kiss. Zhu Zhuqing explained to He Dan softly that she didn't want He Dan to misunderstand. Great, happy birthday. This was also my first kiss. He Dan explained to Zhu Zhuqing softly. Really? Why do I feel like you are so good at it? That when Zhu Zhuqing heard this, he immediately smiled, but expressed some doubts. Of course it's true, how about we do it again? What? He Dan said affirmatively, and then without waiting for Zhu Zhuqing's reply, he directly kissed Zhu Zhuqing's lips again, causing Zhu Zhuqing to moan. He Dan pushed Zhu Zhuqing directly and lay on the bed with Zhu Zhuqing, ding dong, ding dong. Just when He Dan put his hands on Zhu Zhuqing's hips, the doorbell suddenly rang, thump, thump. Zhu Zhuqing immediately pushed He Dan away shyly, her heart beating so fast. Ems. Who is it? He Dan couldn't help but cursed and walked towards the door angrily. Could it be that He Dan just wanted to? Zhu Zhuqing looked at He Dan's back, her pretty face and ears turned red, and she couldn't calm down for a long time. Chapter 17 I haven't showered yet, my body is covered in sweat. You are listening at novelfull.audio. He Dan opened the door, and it turned out that the waiter had brought dinner. After taking the dinner, He Dan sent the waiter away. Zhuqing, you must be hungry, let's have dinner first. Ah. He Dan put dinner on the table and went to the bedroom to take Zhu Zhuqing out. The two finished the meal quickly. He Dan moved the sofa to the balcony, held Zhu Zhuqing in his arms, and made her sit on his lap, enjoying the beautiful sunset together. This sunset is so beautiful. Zhu Zhuqing looked at the clouds in the distance reflected red by the setting sun and said with a smile. Well, it's really beautiful. But no matter how beautiful the sunset is, it's not as beautiful as you. He Dan looked at Zhu Zhuqing with a smile and said affirmatively. Hey. When Zhu Zhuqing heard this, he suddenly smiled happily. What? Zhu Zhuqing suddenly trembled, and couldn't help but let out a surprised and shy cry. Her pretty face and ears turned red. You pervert! Zhu Zhuqing stared at He Dan and cursed softly. There was resentment in her eyes, but she was even more happy. I can't help it, who made my Zhuqing so beautiful? She has such a good figure. If I hold you like this without, then wouldn't I be a man, but a woman? He Dan said with a smile. Who belongs to your family? I haven't married you yet. Zhu Zhuqing puffed up her cheeks and said softly, but her pretty face turned red. She felt very happy, and the corners of her mouth couldn't help but raise. Isn't that a matter of time? He Dan said with a smile again, and then directly kissed Zhu Zhuqing's lips. How about we continue what we left unfinished? Dan asked Zhu Zhuqing while kissing Zhu Zhuqing's lips. Ah. Zhu Zhuqing nodded subconsciously without thinking. No. No, but Zhu Zhuqing immediately shook his head and said. Is it okay or not? Dan asked softly. I've been on the road all day and I haven't showered yet. I'm covered in sweat and it stinks so much. Zhu Zhuqing said shyly. Sniff. Sniff. No. You obviously smell so good, but why does it stink? Dan smelled Zhu Zhuqing's fragrant shoulder and said with an affirmative smile. You pervert, I obviously stink so much, but you still say I smell good. Zhu Zhuqing pouted and scolded Dan, but he was very happy inside, and the corners of his mouth raised even more. How could he not see that Zhu Zhuqing was very happy now? He knew that if he did something to Zhu Zhuqing now, Zhu Zhuqing would definitely not resist. He had already endured it all night the night before. Of course he's going to fuck it now. Since you don't believe it, I'll prove it to you. Dan said with a smile, then directly hugged Zhu Zhuqing in a princess hug and walked straight towards the big bed in the bedroom. Putting Zhu Zhuqing on the bed, Dan immediately threw him down and kissed Zhu Zhuqing's lips. Buzz buzz. Suddenly, Dan and Zhu Zhuqing's bodies lit up with a sacred and noble pink-white light. What? After a while, the whole room reverberated with blood-heated screams, one after another. At about 11 o'clock in the evening, Dan looked at Zhu Zhuqing, who was resting his head on his arm. Although his face was haggard, he was smiling very happily. He was sleeping very peacefully and smiled happily. Ding, congratulations to the master for completing the task of capturing Zhu Zhuqing, making Zhu Zhuqing willingly become the master's woman, and taking Zhu Zhuqing's first blood. Obtained 100,000 skill points and tornado beads. For the specific functions of the tornado cyclone bead, please check the system panel yourself. Awesome. Dan showed a bright smile, and then with a thought, he opened the system panel, found the tornado cyclone bead, and checked its effect. Tornado cyclone beads contains a large amount of extreme wind attribute energy. After a soul master with wind attribute soul power and martial soul fully absorbs it, it can greatly enhance his martial soul and soul power, and improve his martial soul and spirit. Powerful quality. Good stuff. Zhuqing's ghost spirit cat martial spirit and soul power happen to be of the wind attribute. This tornado whirlwind bead is just right for Zhuqing to absorb. Dan grinned, very happy. Happy birthday, hee. At this moment, Zhu Zhuqing suddenly called Dan's name, showed a bright smile, let out a strange laugh, and stretched out his flawless white hands from the quilt and reached Dan's shoulders. I will definitely protect this smile. Dan showed a doting smile and pulled up the quilt to cover Zhu Zhuqing's jade hands, then he closed his eyes and fell asleep with Zhu Zhuqing. The next morning, warm sunlight entered the bedroom through the window and shone on Zhu Zhuqing's face. Zhu Zhuqing habitually covered the sun with her hands, turned her head to the other side, and then opened her eyes with a slight squint. What caught her eyes was Dan's handsome smiling face, which made her feel extremely relieved and happy. Little lazy cat, you wake up. Dan greeted Zhu Zhuqing with a smile. You are the little lazy cat, you are the laziest cat in the entire continent. Zhu Zhuqing puffed up her cheeks, smiled and scolded Dan in a sweet voice. Okay, I am. Dan showed a doting smile. Get up quickly and wash up. I've asked the waiter to bring breakfast. It's neither hot nor cold, so it's just right for you to eat. Ah. Zhu Zhuqing showed a happy smile. Dan picked up Zhu Zhuqing's clothes beside the bed and planned to help Zhu Zhuqing put them on. I can wear it myself. You can go out first. Zhu Zhuqing held the quilt tightly, covering her body, and said softly. We did that last night, what else do you have to be ashamed of now? Dan said with a smile, then directly lifted the quilt and thoughtfully helped Zhu Zhuqing put on his clothes one by one. Shall I help you go to the bathroom to wash up? Dan said to Zhu Zhuqing with a smile. No, I can do it myself. Zhu Zhuqing said stubbornly, and then got out of bed. What? As soon as Zhu Zhuqing stood up, he let out a blood-boiling cry of pain, and his delicate body fell towards the floor uncontrollably. With quick eyes and quick hands, Dan used the princess's hug to pick up Zhu Zhuqing directly. Look. I said I would help you go, but you still don't want it. Dan looked down at Zhu Zhuqing's eyes and sternly blamed Zhu Zhuqing. Are you okay to say that? Zhu Zhuqing was scolded by Dan, and he immediately became so angry that his cheeks bulged. My injury was almost healed, and I would definitely be able to move freely today, but you. Zhu Zhuqing suddenly stopped mid-sentence, and her pretty face turned red. What happened to me? Dan asked with a smile. You bastard. I'll beat you to death. Beat you to death. Beat you to death. Zhu Zhuqing was so angry that he kept beating Dan's chest with his small hands, but he was not willing to use force at all, and the beating did not hurt at all. Okay, let me take you to wash up, otherwise your breakfast will be completely cold later, which is not good for your health. After letting Zhu Zhuqing play for about a minute, Dan said to Zhu Zhuqing with a smile. Ah. Hearing this, Zhu Zhuqing stopped beating Dan's chest and nodded gently, showing sweet and happy happiness. Soon, Dan helped Zhu Zhu clean up. It took about half an hour for the two of them to finish breakfast together. Zhuqing, this is for you. Dan directly took out the tornado whirlwind bead from the system space and handed it to Zhu Zhuqing. To win the pussycat dolls, don't say it's too fast, what's important is efficiency. Don't say Zhu Zhuqing is too small. If you say Zhu Zhuqing is small, who else but Zhu Zhuyun would dare to say he is big?